So I think color grading is one of the quickest ways to dramatically increase the look, feel, and value of your work as a cinematographer. And in weeks like I just had where I don't have a ton of paid client shoots happening, I always try and use these opportunities to increase my skill set in some way. This week, I got to play with some new tools that I think really unlock some interesting potential in the color grading space. If you've been following me for a while, you know I've been working on my color grading skills. I showed off that node tree that I've been working with and kind of building out in a recent episode. You can watch that back. But specifically this week, I played around with a tool called Dehancer, which is sort of focused, from my understanding at least, on creating more of a vintage filmic look, or at least that's how I'm using it. Now, in full transparency, Dehancer did reach out to me. They gave me 1 month free of the software. That's it. They're not paying me. They're not seeing this. This isn't an ad read. There's no affiliate, nothing like that. They just gave me 1 month free of the software. I was interested in it, so I decided I would check it out. And since I didn't have a lot of paid shoots this week to kind of fill up a lot of my time and calendar, I shot a couple just short little vignettes so that I could play with some interesting color grading techniques. So at the top of this frame right here, what you're seeing is just kind of my classic color grade, this node tree that I've been building out for a little while. This is how I grade a lot of my projects right now. This is sort of the base that I've been building and working and learning from. Then in Dehancer, there's 2 different film stocks that I use to try and create 2 different looks, just to play with the tool and see what I could do. Now, this is an interesting sort of overlap for me because I've been getting into shooting film a little bit in the last year and really enjoying it. And so seeing some of these film stocks from photography now applied to videography, and you can probably already tell by the way that I'm talking about this, I'm not an expert in film or in film stock or in any of this kind of stuff, right? I'm learning as I go. So seeing some of these film stocks that I have shot on my vintage Nikon FM photography now applied to the video world is interesting. It's intriguing to be able to create some of these looks. So one of these, I did a Kodak Gold 200 film stock. The other, I did a Portra 400, just 2 really famous film stocks, 2 kind of distinct looks. Now watch these through. I'm really curious to know what you think about these different grades.
Living my best life. Living my best life. I'm alive, baby, I'm thriving. Oh yeah.
One of the things that's really interesting to me about Dehancer is the user interface and the ease of use with this tool in particular. I know that in DaVinci, it's known for its color grading workflow and abilities. You have the node structure, which once you spend enough time with it can become very intuitive, but it can also be intimidating. There are a lot of different scopes and tools and things you kind of have to understand and learn, and it's a rewarding process to learn those tools. I think every filmmaker should have a basic understanding of how to color your own work so that when you do shoot stuff, whether that's content or professional projects, and you don't have the budget to hire a colorist, you can still create something that looks stunning. Like I said, I think you could have incredible cinematography, and the difference between good and great could be the colorist. I mean, it really is incredible what you can do through an understanding of color grading. But Dehancer has a much more maybe basic or streamlined workflow. There's a lot less options, and it's sort of a little more plug and play. Now, I'm sure I haven't spent a ton of time with this tool. I haven't watched tutorials on it. I'm sure you can get really deep in the weeds, and to be honest, I don't even know what some of these buttons do. I haven't played with it that much, but in just a couple clicks, you can create something that looks really good, honestly. You can go for different styles depending on what film stock you choose, and you can create something that looks kind of really vintage with a lot of that grain and halation and bloom, and kind of has those very distinct like gold or blue, whatever color profiles. Or you can go for something that's a lot more neutral and maybe cinematic is the word, maybe kind of commercial would be the word, whatever you want to plug in there. So really interesting tool, really enjoyed playing with it. Would love to hear what you think in the comments down below. One about these 3 different grades, just out of curiosity, which one did you like best? My standard, kind of how I grade all my footage, the Kodak Gold or the Portra 400. 2, if you've heard of Dehancer, what you think about it, whether or not it's worth the money. Honestly, it is kind of expensive, and in full transparency, I probably wouldn't pay for it. I probably won't pay for it once my month is up. It's just something that, well, it's fun to play with. It's sort of more of a luxury item, and if I'm not being paid to use it, then I'm probably not going to pay for it, if that makes sense. But if you're really into film and want that film look in your video work, this could be a really interesting tool that you can use to quickly get the look that you want without necessarily having to have the full skill set of a colorist working in the DaVinci Color panel. So really interesting thought there. So there you go. This one was short and sweet as I didn't have any big projects to take you behind the scenes on this week, but I appreciate you hanging out. Would love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.